here, and let me make myself a tiny bit smaller. Because my hut chat, is taking up a lot of space. So, can feudal Japan survive the zombie apocalypse in the Total War Warhammer 3? I am certain they can. I'm certain. Let's start seeing Reggie being a great green slime that we know and all love.
Fellas, when you think of feudal Japan, you're probably imagining its strict warrior culture and military dictatorships. But what you really need to consider is, could it survive the zombie?
No. I wanna know. I want to think about this very beautiful man with swords. That's what I want to consider, Reggie. Please.
Apocalypse. Well, that's what we're going to figure out in today's video, because we'll be playing Warhammer Total War 3 post-zombie outbreak. In this world, 90% of the map is controlled by the undead, and each vampire lord starts the game with dozens of armies full of zombies. By this point, most factions have become extinct, and there's only a handful of resistance groups fighting to survive. We will be playing as the noble Japanese, isolated in the Far East. Our goal is to unify Japan, create a formidable army, and destroy the 4 main undead factions.
I don't know if we can do that. I'm actually worried. 2 seconds in and naked men could only be Reggie. Oh yeah. Yes, I think it's only Reggie that within 2 seconds of a video you see a naked man and you enjoy it.
Responsible for the apocalypse. Can we utilize the might of the samurai to restore order to this world, or will we become a...
I'm sorry, but using frickin' Stanley as the image of a samurai, thank you. I appreciate a man of culture.
just another body in the army of the dead? There's only one way to find out. But before we go any further, I have to tell you something. 7 months ago, I began a revolutionary initiative to save the homeless population by getting them horny. It's a long story, and you'll be surprised to hear it didn't work. I failed my fellow man because I left them in the unsavory hands of anime women.
No! Not the anime women! Wait a second. Wait a second.
Get pregnant! Get pregnant!
I mean, who's really behind that camera, Alana? For all we know...
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who would know? Does it involve Tori? No. You see, I am not an anime woman. I am a gremlin, a 2D bunny gremlin. I am 2D. I am anime style, but I'm not. Listen, I cannot be an anime woman because I am a 40-year-old dude in a basement with a beard. So, yeah, no, that doesn't include me. No. I just use very good voice changer. Very good voice changer. The plot thickens.
It's 3 Discord mods in a trench coat. Point is, if you want to do something right, do it yourself. Which is why I partnered with GamerSupps to take matters into my own hands. Ladies and gentlemen, they made me hot. You may...
Yeah. I actually have a question, Reggie. You have so many examples of beautiful, manly men in your videos. Yet your shaker is very lacking in the manliness of it. I'm sorry, but it has badongadongs. Pretty, sizable badongadongs, but still. They are not manly men badongadongs. I question that. A mystery for the ages, indeed.
I look upon my supple body and think...
I feel like this could have been a very manly man. It's a question to a Reggie that we must ask. There is no girls allowed here. No.
Think, dear God, science has gone too far. But that's just how committed I am to the cause. And my only other option was to pay an animator to turn me into a gay rat. So...
Gay rat. Gay rat. What? Am I missing a reference here or something? Why actually a gay rat indeed? I wonder. No girls but one bunny? Yes. I don't get...
Count yourself lucky. Long story short...
No. I mean... No. A beautiful slime badongatongs. A gay rat. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water as that's turned the freaking rats gay. Oh wait, I know the reference too. Oh my gosh, I think I do know the reference as well. I think it even existed before the slime Reggie. Oh, I see.
For a limited time, we're selling a Reggie shaker cup for all of your drinking needs.
I'm still very sad I don't have it.
I love mine so much, I physically consumed it. Now it'll be with me forever in the form of millions of microplastics coursing through my veins. But if that's not your style, we also have a branded hat. This thing is saving me a ton of money on psychiatrists, because instead of spending thousands of dollars to receive a diagnosis, I just wear this hat in public, and everyone implicitly understands that I am mentally ill. I don't want to brag, but
you know what? Maybe I need that hat. Maybe that's what I need. However, I feel like it's probably not available anymore, but yeah, I want that hat.
But this is an excellent value proposition, so I recommend pre-ordering your merch today,
I want the hat.
Or else I might just get desperate. Alright, now back to the video. Here we are in the beautiful fantasy world of pre-anime Japan. My name is Shingen Takeda of the Takeda clan, and I'm a provincial daimyo, which means I spend most of my time exploiting local farmers and beating the ever-living shit out of my neighbors. Some might—
Wait, that flag was a Chinese flag. Why do I feel like it should have been swapped to a Korean one? Okay, let's continue.
say it's the perfect life, but there's one problem. We've got way too many Chinese guys. In fact, there's also some Egyptians and even a few furries. Point is, if we want to survive the zombie apocalypse, we're going to need to unify Japan under a singular identity. There are a few options for achieving this, but above all else, I believe in historical accuracy, which is why I'm going to kill everyone.
Yeah, but I kind of Tory steering culture world ready war crime body. No, listen. If I understood the Asian history a little bit, I may or may not remember certain things, but yes.
Starting with this guy. I'm not necessarily doing this because he's Chinese, though that would be historically accurate. I'm doing it
Reggie
because his goddamn name is 30 pages long, and whenever I select him in the deployment,
I did actually. Why? Why is it so long? Is that the war crime if nobody's left to report it? True.
Diplomacy screen, it stretches out somewhere into the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh my goodness.
You see, when you have a name this long, it dehumanizes you, because people don't even try to remember it. Instead, they just give you terrible nicknames like Dick Stroker and Ass Master. Every Thanksgiving, your grandmother says to you, "Hey, come goblin, pass the gravy," and then she spits in your eye, because she doesn't respect you. Gradually, your sense—
that name is something to, like, I feel like there's a whole story behind it. Of course, she remembers the war crime out of everything. No! I would never remember war crime. Mom hated him just a little bit. Just, you know, a tiny bit.
of identity is eroded and you sink into a deep depression before lying down on the highway. I think in light of that nightmarish reality, killing this guy is honestly the nicest thing we could do for him. So we start by taking 2 of his settlements and then—
But you're actually, you know, you're actually making him happier. Because he was suffering his whole life because of the name. And you make sure that now that name gets shortened on a tombstone. So everyone can remember him and pronounce the name. She cannot take notes after her. No, I don't need notes from Reggie. You have to study war crimes. You won't get famous plagiarizing someone else's work. You have to be unique. Yes, exactly. Yes. Canada can definitely help. I'm sure.
And setting up an ambush outside his capital. Luckily, he's too busy alphabetizing his names to notice, so he walks right into it. At face value, our army is composed primarily of impoverished rice farmers. However, the enemy army is mostly crows, so I think we've got a chance. Setting up the ambush, I attack the left.
I mean, yes, because when you think about it, he has farmers. And farmers' enemy on daily basis are birds. Birds include crows. So it makes sense that crows are weak against farmer. Absolutely makes sense. Yep.
Left side with a few units of samurai and turn the right side into a peasant gangbang. After a few minutes, thousands are dead and Japan is victorious. I can already feel my ultra-nationalism rising. After that, I spent a few turns culturally assimilating the Tomb Kings by stabbing them repeatedly with a wakizashi.
Actually, Tomb Kings. High IQ on all these stories. Thank you. There are families that pass names from parents to children. They overdid this one. That's just a little bit. I'm thinking because Tomb Kings technically are also undead. Do they count in the apocalypse of the zombie? Well, they're not zombies, right? But, you know.
Meanwhile, in Southeast Asia, the first undead overlord Helman Gorst is quickly expanding his empire through the destruction of resistance factions. Once he gets past these French armies, he'll share a maritime border with us.
Okay, but it's French armies, so we are still not helping, right? I mean, we are definitely helping because they help, of course.
Which is really bad, but we don't have time to worry about that, because I just declared war on Tzeentch, and I'm taking all of his territory. Also, I've unlocked a new mount, which I definitely know how to ride.
Why is it a crow there? Why? You can't smell the difference? True. I think this is just zombies.
The Tzeentchian conflict culminated in one final battle at his northernmost province. Tzeentch armies are usually threatening because of how many ranged units they can field. So to counter this, I've researched and developed matchlock rifles. You might not think this is a big deal, but let me give you a choice. You can either get attacked with funny bisexual magic, or if you prefer, I can blow your face off with a black powder musket. I know which one I'd pick. Anyway, the battle got underway, with trebuchets bombarding the enemies and our muskets controlling the skies. Following this up with a full charge, things quickly devolved into a large-scale woodland melee, where I attempt to utilize my complete disregard for casualties to slowly beat our enemies into submission.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just as things were getting interesting, the game crashed.
No! No, not the crash! Damn it! I think there's a big deal going from stabbing to gun. Yes, it is a huge deal.
Which leads us to my next point. If you're watching this video and thinking, wow, Japan is very cool, I want to be Japanese. No, you don't. This mod is a direct pipeline to Neo-Luddite terrorism, because it has the approximate stability of a landmine in a blender. It's not a matter of if it'll blow up, it's a matter of how many innocent lives will be caught in the blast.
Oh boy.
Every time my game crashes, I add 500 words to my manifesto, and...
I'm glad that 500 words of the manifesto did not end up in the script. Long-range stabbing? Yes, it's a long-range stabbing. With throwing bullets. Yeah.
Whenever it isn't crashing, it's T-posing my commanders, changing the...
Listen, okay, T-posing commanders is acceptable, okay? Even a base Total War Warhammer does it.
Aspect ratio on their portraits and making them ride their mounts underground. In fact, I couldn't use my general for that entire last battle, because he spawned in on a horse 70 feet in the sky. Couldn't move at all. Point is, I'm willing to be radicalized into bombing a data center just so I can roleplay as the Shogun of Japan. But I don't recommend it. Anyway, after reloading the save, I did the honorable thing and auto-resolved Tzeentch into oblivion. The only people left to resist us now are the Skaven. And now that my commander isn't doing the Skyblock challenge, I'm headed straight for them. I was lucky enough to attack their capital while most of their armies rode at sea. So I only had to kill millions of rats instead of billions. But any battle against the Skaven is and always will be a monumental pain in the ass. Also, we crashed.
No! Not another crash!
After exterminating the rats, we controlled most of the country, and I established a defensive alliance with the only other Japanese faction. Now, after hundreds of years...
I'm surprised that the other Japanese faction did not die yet. I am literally very surprised.
Years of bloodshed, Japan is finally unified under a singular vision, which means we can devote all of our resources to creating the most vile pornography imaginable. This is the samurai way. Also, I guess we should do something...
Remember, guys, it's hentai and it's art. It's called hentai and it's art.
About the millions of zombies. In fact, by this point, the undead hordes have completely obliterated French Vietnam, and Hellman is now actively extorting us for money. Money which I gladly pay him, because he's the strongest faction in the game, and the endgame crisis hasn't even triggered yet. Up to this point, we've been practicing the isolationist
this will never get old for me.
Policy of Sakoku. In case you're not familiar with this principle, allow me to put it into a hypothetical situation. Your name is John Fortnite. You live in Section 8 housing with your father, who forces you to refer to him as the Shogun. Your mother, the Emperor, and approximately 12 to 18 million siblings. One day, an African dandy knocks on your door and asks you for directions to the gas station. You slice him in half with a katana for violating your national sovereignty, and then your father exiles you to live the rest of your life in the backyard for the crime of interacting with a foreigner. This is Sakoku, and it has kept us safe up to this point. But once the endgame crisis hits, we won't be able to hide any longer, because all zombie factions will declare war on us and will probably die. So to improve our odds of survival, we need to continue expanding and developing our empire, which leads me to my next point. Taiwan.
I
don't...
like you, and I want you.
Right now, it's our...
You know what? I shall say that this is a good way of thinking. I like it, and I want to.
For the control of the Taiwanese Dark Elves, but I'd like to turn it into a military base to train samurai. So let's get to work. I send my navy to Taiwan on a diplomatic mission. I kill the Taiwanese and rename all of their settlements. This is the equivalent of stealing someone's barbecue before scratching off the serial number and repainting it. Basically, fool.
It works. I have an excuse to use in case I will be caught. You don't understand its art. I'm appreciating the art. So where are your pants? Don't ask about. Listen, no, it's like sometimes when you need to appreciate the art, pants are in the way of it. So, yes. Taiwan, what's that? There's no such country as Taiwan? Yeah, we're okay. Now we could do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours, always. Always.
Proof. I also forged alliances with the Filipino High Elves, because with 90% of the world taken over by zombies, it's probably bad policy to keep killing the only survivors.
Yeah,
now that we've
might
got
not be the best idea.
Military infrastructure, and unmitigated ultra-nationalism, we are easy.
You know what? Can we, is there a mod for Total War Warhammer to change everything into anime? Can I just have an anime Total War? Is that an option? Cardboard but Total War? Yes! I want Cardboard but Total War, please. Please! There's no war in Basing. Say no, of course not.
Delete one of the strongest remaining human factions. What's our next move? I ask myself this question, and my inner Japanese daimyo screams the answer.
I want to know what is the little sakura petal. What is it meaning? What's the thing of it? Because you have the little mark, but he never explains what it is. I'm sure there's a mod somewhere buried deep in the hellhole that is the Steam Workshop. Hopefully. It should be, but it's also difficult because you have to change a lot of 3D models. But at the same time, I don't know. It definitely should be there.
Right now, it's controlled by the undead, with a small South Korean resistance led by Lokir Felhard. I sail my navy in that... I mean,
it would make sense to team up with the Korea and fight the undead together, but knowing Reggie says, I like this land. I take this land. There is a Toho Age of Empire game coming out, Toho Empires. The Korean War is always close to my heart since my granddad served in that war. I see. Japanese and Korean relationships is something. It's definitely a little bit rocky, but it's complicated. It's complicated. Yeah, if there was a status to put on it, it would be complicated.
Direction to help out. However, before I can get there, I received terrible news. The endgame crisis just popped, and Helman Gorst is looking at me the same way Jeffrey Dahmer looks at gay black men in the suburbs. So that's bad Reggie. Bad Reggie. So Terry should play Road to Empress 2, right? There might just be a little bit of history there. Changed my priorities just a bit. Good luck, South Korea. I'm sure you'll be fine.
I don't know. Will
Our
it
win
be
conditions
fine?
for this campaign are simple. Destroy the 4 dominant undead factions. And since Helman is right next to us, we may as well start there. At the moment,
It'll
our main
take a
army led by
long
Shingen
time.
is composed of highly trained samurai and a few riflemen, while our other 2 armies are primarily peasants and a couple of long-range cannons.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
perfect.
much, but hopefully it's enough.
That clip is great. I love that.
Landing at Saigon, we quickly capture the settlement, but it turns out we are the wrong type of Asian, because the magical forests of Vietnam are completely uninhabitable to us. So I decide to donate the land to the French resistance in exchange for them joining the war. Our blitzkrieg against the
smart
undead was going
I thought they were already at war with the undead faction because that specific faction was fighting them and pushing the... But I am confused. I thought the French died. I'm very confused.
quite well. We managed to liberate 3 more settlements and sell them back to the French. But our success was short-lived, because after 5 turns of casualties, vampiric attrition, and a low replenishment rate, my army of hardened samurai warriors may as well be an army of femboy twinks, because with a...
That is quite a change, and it is not a pleasant one when you need them to fight.
Combined 50 health, we're looking awfully submissive and breedable. My conclusion...
I don't know about the second one, but sure, Reggie. Sure.
Conclusion from losing 5,000 men in just a couple turns? Our artillery is trash, and we need anti-cavalry. Because our rifles can't do shit when an 1,100-pound horse is tap dancing on their balls.
Makes sense. Makes sense. As a Vietnamese, I can confirm the trees are uninhabitable to everyone. Perfect. That's what we expected. Some like when they fight. No, oh no! No! Reggie truly is something special. Yes, I Lizzie Monster. Also welcome, happy to see you. Time to steal Tori's hat. You can't steal my hat. That hat is not stealable.
So, for attempt 2, I brought in some Naginata Samurai and started upgrading our units with Sakura blessings. However, our downfall, as always, was trusting the French, because I accept...
You never trust the French! Ever! Ever! Reggie, come on!
Accepted a battle to defend their settlement against the undead, but these chalk-eating, window-licking French bastards deployed facing the wrong direction and got slaughtered before I could even show up. Maybe, just maybe, we're on the wrong side of history. Anyway, everyone died, and I was back to twiddling my thumbs in the Pacific Ocean. As if that wasn't bad enough, the undead launched a surprise invasion of Taiwan, taking half of the island before I could even react. If Taiwan falls, we lose access to all...
That's not good. That's not good. It's always the cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Always. Don't steal her hat. It makes up like half of her head. Listen, my hat is very important.
Samurai units, so this is kind of a big deal. I managed to cobble together an army of swordsmen and reinforce it with Ronin from the mainland. This culminates in one final battle for control of the island. We establish a defensive...
I'm surprised that he didn't decide to fight near them in the other settlement. The settlement fight may have been good, but I see that this is a choke point fight, so I can understand why he chose that one as well.
formation, and the undead armies wash upon us. For every zombie we kill, 2 seem to take its place. It wasn't until our archers started focus firing the enemy leadership that things started going in our favor.
Very nice.
Before long, the battle was over, resulting in a...
So that's why Twitch flagged surrender monkeys. Wait, what? Oh, because of... Okay, I see what happened. Okay.
massive victory for mankind, with 6,500 undead casualties.
Perfect.
With that taken care of, there's only one thing left to do. Fellas, grab your M16s and jungle heroin, because we're going back to Vietnam.
Again?
For this second invasion, I adopted the approach of fanning out my armies and attacking Hellman on multiple fronts. Then I realized that's stupid as hell.
Yeah, considering how many freaking armies he has and at every single spot of the attacks he was throwing, I think he would have to have a lot of armies for that. Shogun 2, my favorite Total War game and top 3 video games of all time. I didn't try Shogun, Captain played them, but I did hear that they're pretty fun.
Hellman's weakness is that he has to defend all of his fronts, which allows us to instead group up 3 or 4 stacks and overpower him at a singular point.
Yeah, that's what I would do too.
By this point, I've successfully vassalized the French, High Elves, and the Japanese. So I coordinated their armies to distract the undead in the north, while I took our navy to the deep south and established a beachhead. It doesn't take long for the locals to come greet us, and I'm sure they're expecting us to instantly capitulate and suck them from behind. But we've got a secret weapon, the Shogun's first samurai. Usually, a singular unit cannot sway the tide of a 10,000-man battle, but this regiment of renown cost 4,000 gold just to recruit, and that's because they're absolutely and completely busted. They have triple the attack of our usual samurai, they're unbreakable, armored, armor-piercing, and they can even deflect projectiles with their swords.
They are the true anime samurais! Let's go!
Truly.
Hello there, the best guy. Welcome, happy to see you harding today. Hi.
This is Japanese apotheosis. So when I tell you that we attacked 3 undead armies and absolutely crucified them in open combat, you shouldn't be surprised. You also shouldn't be surprised when I explain that it took me 9 hours to do this, because every time I loaded the fight, my game would crash.
Yep, that's what I expected, that it took him very, very long time to do everything, just because freaking crashes were happening all the time. Shameful dissipate!
One of our units in the army is causing the crash, and I spent several hours finding who was responsible. Turns out it was my Wish.com Naruto.
No, not the Naruto from Wish.com, no!
Not his existence in a general sense. In fact, I have a lot of retarded people in my army. They fight very well. The issue was that Mr. Uzumaki was trying to ride a horse, and the game didn't like that shit one bit. So it crashed 20 times in a row. Yet again, our greatest struggle in the zombie apocalypse is against our own mod pack. Anyway, upon politely revoking Naruto's license...
Oh no! Nutty horse!
We're back on track. After breaking through Hellman's first response force, there was nothing to stop us from carving up his southern provinces and selling them to the French.
You know what? I'm almost certain that's how it worked.
We also deployed half a dozen ninjas throughout his territory to monitor his troop movements. But eventually the fun had to end after I came across what I describe as the indigestible log, a collection of 8 or 9 undead armies traveling in one giant doom stack. This is a problem, and I have the solution. Earlier in the campaign, a sex criminal was covering us in his bodily fluids, and our solution was gun.
Although, that's not the sex criminal, I'm sorry, you have, is there Slaanesh still on the map? You know, that would be the sex criminal. I don't know what Tzeentch would be. I have no idea.
God bless America. And now, when a giant horde of undead creatures are barreling down on us, our solution will be bigger gun. The big cannon...
Bigger guns always work. Always work.
Samurai are tier 3 ranged units with an absurd stat line. You may be wondering what's so big about these cannons, and I'll tell you, it's...
They are hand cannons, eh? Tzeentch's tax threat? True. 100%.
the projectiles. We're not shooting our enemies with bullets anymore. We're smoking them in the face with flaming dicks. Because each projectile is 12 inches long and hurts like hell. Bad Dragon would be proud.
Wait, how much is 12 inches? Give me a second. How much in the centimeter is that? That's a 30 centimeter friggin' huge! Friggin' huge! I should have like a little measurement thingy. I do have a measurement thingy. 30 centimeters. That's giant. That is some freaking venom shit. Wait, if this is the projectile they are shooting, how would the freaking like? Because when you shoot, you have the recoil. If it's 30 centimeters, the recoil of this thing would rip your arm off. No? How 12 inches? No, I don't. I hope you don't. That would be very health-wise. I don't think you would want that. But yeah, the recoil on that thing must have been horrible. My goodness. If gun don't work, get big gun. If big gun don't work, get bigger gun. Exactly. What it just came into, I was just checking, like, what's 12 inches in centimeters, and I'm surprised you know what recoil is. Of course I know what recoil is. I may have not shot an actual gun. But remember, it's not about the size, it's what you do with it that counts. Yes, of course, yes. Yeah. And also I played a lot of shooters. We're just talking about projectiles here. Certainly nothing else. Yes, of course. Only projectiles.
I tested these out in some battles against the undead, and it quickly became clear to me this shit is absolutely busted. Because not only does it do massive and accurate damage, but it doesn't even need a line of sight. So as
Oh, it doesn't need line. That's disgusting. Not needing a line of sight is disgusting. Oh my goodness.
As long as you're within 200 range, you're dying.
No, I love that. I want that gun.
Field, try again. Senile dickhead flying through the sky.
Nope.
Back to the retirement home, Grandpa.
Yep.
And
I wanted to know, is being a streamer easy or a little difficult? Just curious. It depends. It depends, Void. Okay, let's continue the video. Chat derailed me once more, asking difficult questions.
Most importantly, cavalry charges now turn into cavalry stains on the ground.
Perfect! Who needs cavalry charge when you can have cannon? Hand cannon. Head cannon? She's becoming a pro! Let's go!
6, 1945, the United States of America did the Oppenheimer Shuffle on Hiroshima, and at that point, the war was over. But it took another 8 days for the Emperor to admit his defeat.
No. I'm sure he never has admitted his defeat. Once more, you mean you were on track? Yes, I was very much on track.
With the invention of these big cannon samurai, that's exactly where we're at now. Emperor Helmo Hito has virtually no counterplay, apart from—
I think it is absolutely beautiful invention, and it should be spread around. Every single person should have one. Oppenheimer Shuffle is catchy. The heck is Oppenheimer? What is that?
Praying that we run out of ammo. So we spent the next—
Well, I guess there goes a dragon. I liked that wagon. I have a theory that with every video Tori watched from Reggie, her innocence dropped by a solid percentage. No. I'm certain that's not the case. I'm a very, very wholesome little bunny. Oppenheimer is a name. He worked on the Manhattan Project. Huh. Interesting. Boldest view to assume she was innocent to begin with. I was very innocent, and I'm still very, very innocent. Nuclear bomb? Oh. He hasn't admitted his defeat? Well, guess we will have to defeat him. No. Ironically, Nagasaki was never meant to be hit. The pilots couldn't be bothered to go to the proper target, so yeeted bomb into Nagasaki. History lesson over. Yup. Someone who commits as many war crimes as her can't be innocent. I've never committed a war crime. I would never. Innocent, you say yes, 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 yes.
15 turns obliterating all of his armies and strengthening
Perfect.
our allies. By the time his faction went extinct, we controlled all of Southeast Asia through a
Yay,
series
we
of
killed
French,
one.
Japanese, and Filipino.
And he was the strongest one, so it should be much easier now. Innocent because there were no survivors. I have never been proven guilty, so I'm innocent. It's never a war crime the first time, so Tori is safe.
Puppet states. That's 1 zombie faction down, 3 to go. So
But that was the strongest one, so it's okay. It's okay. If you're innocent, then I am the king of England. Well, I guess you're king of England. Although, wait a second. England has only a prince. There is no king currently in the England, is there? England has a king. Uh-oh. There is a king. Oh. King Charles? Question mark? As a British person, please replace him. Okay, I actually don't know why there is so much hate against him. Well, no, I know some of it. Just need to pull a sword out of a stone or have a war retard throw a scimitar at you. Queen Lizzie was too good. Listen, Queen Lizzie was I feel like literally Queen Elizabeth passing away was an end of an era. Like, I grew up the whole life, so long with just Queen Elizabeth, and I was just Queen Elizabeth, dude. Like, that's who rules the England, right? She was such an icon. Distributing sword out of pawns is no basis for system of governance. I would like to disagree with that one.
So let's check on the others and see how they're doing. Manfred von
boy.
Karstein once controlled the entirety of the Neo-Assyrian undead empire, but in what can only be described as a generational fumble, he somehow created 20 resistance factions, which are now taking turns beating the fuck out of him. So we should probably go put him out of his suffering. On the other hand, Heinrich Kemmler has control over all of Ulthuan and most of Bretonnia, while Vlad von Karstein has a good chunk of the empire.
Vlad, come on! I did better as Elizabeth. Elizabeth? No. Isabel, there we go. I actually, freaking hell, I did better as Isabel than you did right now, Vlad. Come on, get yourself together. Get your woman. I think in Sam, did you know that there are more than 5 countries with no standing army? You have options? Perfect. I still think that Vlad fucked up here. Come on, Vlad!
Them at strength rank 1 and 2. So what's the plan? Well, a reasonable man might just decide to make 10 full armies of big cannon samurai. But that's exorbitantly expensive, and our country hasn't yet figured out how to monetize
I think he has to figure out how to get monetized from the, like, come on. You have such a good examples of that. Come on.
Booning to anime women. So instead, we'll have to settle for some more affordable options. Army 1, 5,000 peasants. Army 2, 5,000 peasants. Army 3, people
Okay, I thought I'm seeing the pattern. Wrong, I am not seeing the pattern.
I actually care about. Army 4, 5,000 peasants with guns. Army 5, a collection of dangerous mythological creatures such as a woman. And
Japan, where a woman is a mythological creature.
Finally, Army 6, the only cavalry I could recruit without crashing my game. This is our dream team. Now, let's go save the world. But how are we going to get all the way over here? Well, Warhammer is an excellent game.
Wait, this game is fantastic, just needs to work on communication, graphics, map, characters, economy, how the units aim, realistic unit movement, unit aliasing, the AI, diplomacy relation, the decisions making by AI, the HUID, the tutorial, time to load, synchronization, the launcher, understandably, and getting a new developer team. Yes. Did I mention it's very affordable? Lovely review. I love it. The T-posing on horses is perfect. That's the ultimate way of riding horses. Confirmed by me who read horses. The most dangerous fantasy creature. Yes, I have never met one more dangerous creature in the world. I've never really watched VTuber except Story. It is somehow common here, and I'm happy to hear that. You do not need more VTubers out there than me.
Not just because it actively denies the existence of Australia, but because it believes in hybridized flat Earth theory, where the world is flat, but you can circumnavigate it only if you're in a boat and you're teleporting. The mechanics of it aren't clear to me either, but the point is, we're using this sea lane to teleport from here all the way to South America. When we started this scenario, this continent was almost entirely controlled by a lesser zombie faction, but after 100 turns of resistance fighting, the people of South America have eliminated their undead overlords and replaced them with literal demons.
That's somehow I don't think it's better. Yeah, I don't feel like it's better. I don't feel like it's better. Australia is real since when? I don't know. I beg to differ. You don't need anything but Toriness and exclusively a joke. True, Tori, you're the only VTuber I need. Yada! Perfect. Perfect. That's all you need in your life. Accurate representation of South America.
Very cool, South America. Goodbye. Quickly ignoring that entire continent, we sail across the Atlantic to arrive on the shores of Manfred's territory. Just when you thought the Middle East couldn't get any more complicated, 30,000 Japanese men stage an amphibious landing in Saudi Arabia.
No, Reggie, no!
Our first order of business is to gain control of Sudenburg. The garrison of 3,000 men pissing their pants was no match, and with that we have a base of operations. Meanwhile, somewhere in the
base of operations, we'll see how that goes for you.
Desert, Sheikh Manfred von Karstein is punching the air at the thought of losing his capital to a bunch of impoverished rice farmers. So he issues a fatwa against our lives, and 6,000 of his most violent extremists.
Yikes, that's a lot of armies. This video is giving me a lot of ideas for Tori's videos, oh boy. Oh boy.
Show up to kill us. That was his biggest mistake, because prior to this moment, he had plausible deniability about having a humiliation fetish. But after this fight, he's obviously getting off on it.
I don't know who that streamer is, and I do not think I want to know who that streamer is. I'm good. We know him, Tori. We know him.
Having a humiliation fetish. But after this fight, he's obviously...
Maybe it's the pose or something, but why does it not click in my brain? Who the heck is this? It's iDubbbz? Wait, what? It is iDubbbz? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, the microphone kind of made it difficult for me to see. I'm sorry. You know, the facial expression is very... rare to see.
Getting off on it. Here's how it went. Our 4 armies against his 4. We can only use 2 at a time, so I choose my main samurai stack and the meme stack of big cannons. After some maneuver.
Glad to see that iDubbbz is doing everything he can to pay his taxes. Listen, you gotta pay them somehow, and
we establish a defensive shell, and anything that came near the shell got absolutely annihilated.
I really love, like, it's always so satisfying in Total War to see the enemy health just melt before they even reach your front line. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Platoons of thousands of enemies gone in an instant. Food nourishes my body. Books nourish my mind. And 19 big cannon gunners nourish my soul. Occasionally, Manfred's cavalry might barely survive the gunners, at which point they charge headfirst into my spear wall. This is already a bad idea, but after I activate the spear quilt ability, my spearmen gain 600% mass, which means Manfred is basically charging headfirst into a concrete wall.
Yup, no, that's a lot of mass right there. A lot of mass. A working man working to pay his taxes. Nothing weird here. Exactly.
So that was the battle. 20 minutes of shooting everything that moved, and then 10 minutes of stabbing it with spears after it stopped moving. Final result.
Normal mod balance sounds perfectly fine to me.
250 friendly casualties, 3,500 enemy casualties. Eat
That's what you like
Manfred.
to see.
Manfred participated in his next humiliation ritual.
Babe, it's 4 p.m. time for decisive defeat. Yes, honey. Oh my goodness.
At the Siege of the Great Pyramid, where he attempted to defend a castle using 90% cavalry. In case you're not familiar, that's like attempting to perform open-heart surgery with a Ford F-150.
Yeah, that's not... cavalry for settlement fights are not really the way to go, I would say. Yeah, that's... He could have chosen a little bit better. It would work, I don't know. I don't know.
It's just not applicable. So obviously, we scaled the walls with riflemen and spent 30 minutes putting football-sized holes in all of his units.
Yeah,
Not
that
sure what he
makes
was
sense.
expecting, but
I would
getting
do
shot
that too.
1,200 times was kind of the high watermark of Manfred's career. Because after that, we just casually conquered the rest of his territory. This
I mean, he probably destroyed almost all of his best armies, so that's why Manfred couldn't get back up. Because the armies were dead, he was consistently taking over the settlements, and that's how you start the ball rolling, basically, to destroy a faction. I don't think that would work. No, I don't. 600% mass is almost as much as 0.32% of a different unknown amount of mass. Probably, yes.
was boring, but it gave us a chance to forge alliances with Rapunzel and Volkanovsky the Grim, which helped bolster our income to a massive 15,000 gold per turn. And perhaps more importantly, our
That means that he can afford more handguns. Let's go.
alliance with the Empire now allows us to
You
recruit
afford more
actually
hentai.
good artillery.
No, Ariston. More art. Because remember, it is an art.
With Manfred decomposing in the sand and several new allies to control the region, we can move on to the second last
More money equals more guns. Exactly. That's why we need economy.
undead lord, Heinrich Kemmler. About 20 turns ago, Heinrich was doing quite well for himself, controlling all of Ulthuan.
He was a very
now we can
happy
see
boy.
that not only did Marathi survive the zombie apocalypse, but she actually survived so well that she's invading Heinrich and winning. In fact, she did about half the work for us.
She basically was starting to get back what she wanted.
So let's capitalize on this opportunity and take the other half of Ulthuan.
No, Marathi's dream will be crushed. She wanted all of the old one.
Arriving there, we fan out and take a big bite out of that donut.
Oh, the donut. I don't like American donuts. I prefer my local donuts, and now I kind of want a donut. I'm just hungry, dude.
Does not respond well to this surprise rimming, and he attacks us at Cairn Thel. I deploy our gun cage in the shallow waters. This slows the enemies down as they charge at us, which gives us more time to shoot them in the face. Additionally, Shingen unlocked the Dark Skies ability, which is a map-wide effect that causes flocks of crows to attack all enemy flying units. This regularly kills bats and even Vargeists within 30 seconds, meaning we've got permanent air superiority. The battle started off quite well, with us melting 3 of his commanders right off the bat. However, once his army caught up, things began getting complicated. Defending a 360-degree formation is pretty challenging.
Yeah, that's a lot of micro right there. That sounds a little bit scary for me.
Especially when your rocket artillery keeps friendly firing your own units. But luckily, the undead leadership has a remarkable proclivity for flying headfirst into projectile oblivion.
That's true. They do that
when the enemy
lot.
generals are speedrunning
Which is absolutely great if you try to fight them.
their own death, it's almost impossible to lose. While our 2 main armies were taking care of that, we split a second battle group to proceed along the northern shores, capturing additional territory until we ran into the Red Duke of Mousillon. Not only is this man a vampire, but I have credible evidence linking him to a furry VTuber reaction channel, so he had to die.
I am not into that sphere, okay? I don't see those. I don't watch those. I'm not part of them.
And let me tell you, when we ripped him apart using every Japanese monster on the roster, I felt emotionally enriched on multiple levels. Unfortunately, the
sounds very satisfactory. Yes.
Undead are resilient, and for the next 20 turns, we had to deal with a continuous piss stream of Parisian vampires sailing across the channel to kill us. In better news, we liberated Lothern and brought Tyrion back to life. Then
you can... Wait, what do you mean brought Tyrion? You can bring people back to life? I thought that's... Wait a second. That's what happens with the freaking. Wait a second. But that's necromancy, and that's the zombies and the skeletons, and we're fighting the zombies. So bringing someone back is bad. You can revive faction as long as they weren't confederated. Ah, interesting.
We started selling him 90% of our Ulthuan holdings. And for a man who was, until very recently, dead, he has a lot of money. Money which I desperately need, because Morathi is extorting us for 25,000 gold each turn.
Yikes.
It's not that I'm a fan of financial domination, but the...
No? Why do I feel like he would be a fan of that?
Dark Elves are so sexually deranged that even the most perverse Japanese salaryman would stand no chance against them.
No, I
easier.
think some of them would stand a chance. Just few of them would stand a chance. Just few. The Druki is hot. Nice pause again, by the way. Thank you. I'm very good at pausing.
To just cooperate with the sexual terrorists. By this point,
Just
we've
a little
taken
bit.
all of
And
Heinrich's
for a little
settlements
bit.
in Ulthuan, established the High Elves as a satellite state, and Morathi is teetering on the edge of flattening our dick with a pasta maker, which means it's time
Yikes, that sounds... Oh boy. Oh boy.
for us to leave. Next objective is Bretonnia. Once we purge the undead from this region, then it's on to the Empire for our final target, Vlad von Karstein. Quickly working our way through a naval blockade, we stage our first invasive landing at Lioness. This is a massive city for the undead, so I'm expecting heavy resistance and possibly some suicide bombers. However, instead, as soon as we arrive, the enemy commander jumps in a boat and sails 500
Yes, this is an important city. I am expecting a very strong fight here. Nope.
miles away. I almost feel embarrassed to be at war with these people, but I'm not too embarrassed to farm their garrisons for XP, because now I'm able to give my commanders the Death Squad perk. Call my boys Unit 731, because they really out here committing racially motivated war crimes and experimenting on the locals. Speaking of human experiment,
I mean, considering that the locals are already dead, is the experimentation still wrong?
I think something is deeply wrong with my ninjas. Too many chromosomes or not enough, I'm not sure. But every time I load the save, it gets worse. Willfully ignoring the uncontrolled mutation of my soldiers, we push forward.
Don't worry about it. That's how my Sims looked when I downloaded a little bit too many mods. So they attacked Lokier on his capital and he didn't, sailed away. He ran away because Reggie has too much aura, probably.
Several undead cities with minimal resistance. Heinrich did attempt to stop us at one point, but he chose to attack us on a map with a massive choke point when all of our units have rifles.
That is,
so you can imagine how that went. I take a moment to appreciate Heinrich's situation.
Beautiful.
According to lore, this man spent 6 years living in the forest, eating tree bark, and going insane before selling his soul to the devil to obtain necromantic powers. All of that just for some goofy agents to show up, T-posing on horses, and dismantle his entire empire. So
no, it's perfect. It's perfect. I love choke point maps as a gunner faction. It's beautiful every single time.
Sorry, Heinrich, but I've already depicted you as the Virgin and me as the Chad, so you never stood a chance. The only real casualty of this war was my big cannon meme stack. I got a little too cocky in this battle, and they all died. One of the saddest days in my life was when my child asked me to buy them a Skibbity Toilet mystery surprise toilet, at which point I had no choice but to abandon them outside a Walmart. But
Yep. Very fair. Very fair. That a thing you don't want to know. Burn the kid. Burn it. Valid, very valid, very valid. Yes. Man ate mushroom in the forest, got too high, and made an army. Proceeds to be pawned by taxpayer that need to pay their tax apparently.
losing this army was even worse. Fortunately,
that sounds
fresh reinforcements just arrived from
No.
Japan. 14 Tier 5 samurai at a cost of 8,000 gold per turn.
Ooh.
If Heinrich wasn't doomed before, he definitely is now. So we spread out.
I wonder if he got more guns, though. The browse history is getting cursed by the day. Oh, no. Maybe he's using a different browser for these browsing stuff. Maybe. The T-pose on horse that never gets old is aura farming. Don't worry about it. I kind of want to know what is Reggie's browsing history. Me too. I was asking for research, and chat said that I don't want to know, but I do want to know.
And violently expunge his presence from Bretonnia. Also, the dwarves seem to have performed an ethnic cleansing against the wood elves. Truly, the world is healing. In similarly pleasant news, Morathi appears to have extracted some sexual gratification from watching us repeatedly batter the elderly. And now, she kind of likes us. Fellas, I think we've got a chance.
I mean, listen. She was fighting zombies, you're fighting zombies. There is some connection there, and you were on Ulthuan together, you know, I'm sure there is some type of chance there.
What's left is to seal the deal. I am a romantic soul, so to impress Morathi, I strike deep into the Empire, capturing Heinrich's final settlement.
There was such an inappropriate joke in my brain because of that. Well, let's continue. Let's continue.
Leaving him with only one army, at which point I joined forces with her to spit roast Heinrich into oblivion. Used to be that buying a girl flowers was enough to impress her,
no,
but now
not
apparently
anymore.
even
See guys, long time ago, you just buy a girl flowers and girl is happy. No. Nowadays, you have to strike deeply into the Empire. Yep, that's what you have to do. To impress a girl nowadays, you need to strike the elderly. No, deep in the Empire.
Old man to death in front of her isn't good enough, because not only did we not get her number, but she declared war on us immediately after.
That just sucks, man. And how do you expect men to date when this is how female act? Look at this. He was helping her. He was impressing her with his skills. And she just says, no, actually, I hate you. But she was giving him signs of love. I am sorry, guys. This sucks. I am sorry for you. Because this is what female do. That gave me a question. If guy couple got divorced, who take the house? Good question. Don't divorce, they solve problem. This is something Morathi would do, to be fair. True.
After, the dating economy may never recover. Now look.
It will not recover. I'm sorry, Reggie. I had hopes for you. I was rooting for you. And this is where it went. A special skill of Morathi, catching people with their pants down. True.
We're already saving the world from zombies. We don't have the resources to also save it from perverts. So it's time for some market.
If you can't fight the perverts, become one of them? Question mark?
Manipulation. You see, my Bretonnian settlements are like a collection of investments, carefully managed and neatly arranged in a dossier. And in 2 or 3 turns, Morathi is going to take a big fat shit in that dossier, which means we have 2 or 3 turns to become financially liquid. So I start selling off all of our Bretonnian holdings to anyone with the money. Aquitaine, Karl Franz, even bearded children. Don't care? Here's your settlement. Good luck defending it. Some people might consider this a form of insider trading, but I prefer to think of it as a timely exercise in geographical minimalism. That was a bit of a...
Yeah, Reggie's just making sure to give the settlements into good hands. That's exactly what he's doing.
Disaster, but we handled it well. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, trouble is brewing. South Korea just declared war on us and staged an invasion of northern Japan. With all of our armies in the Empire, this is pretty bad. As the Koreans captured more of our territory, I rushed to assemble an army, but all I could come up with was this. 7 tier 5 samurai against an entire army of dark elf degenerates.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something that'll work. Ethical property management, I love that.
Truly, we are doomed. Or at least, that's what I thought, before I realized our samurai can run faster than a goddamn horse. Not only that, but they are completely psychologically unbreakable. So our fight against the Koreans was just a bunch of sociopathic Japanese guys going on an unprecedented killing spree and then chasing down the survivors like wild animals.
I forgot that these guys are literally unbreakable and that they are so fast. My goodness. It's okay if your projectile didn't strike deep enough into Marathi's empire, Reggie. We love you. Yeah, don't worry, Reggie. We still love you, even if you didn't went deep enough for Morathi. It's okay. It's okay. She's a hard woman to satisfy. We understand.
This is a proud day for all of Japan. Shortly after that, we executed the South Korean president, and their territory was colonized by Mongolian lizards. I'm starting to understand why every Asian hates other Asians. In fact...
well, there are reasons for it.
At this point, our greatest threat is no longer the undead. It's the dozens of warmongering factions that have rushed into the power vacuum left by the undead. But we've got a goal...
You know what? Actually, to be expected. Also we didn't finish all of them.
To complete, and Vlad...
History is an amazing thing, true.
...is still alive. Kind of. So, let's get back to work. We begin pouring our armies into the Empire, splitting one group to the south and one to the north to capture as much as we can. We run into our first resistance at Averheim, when 4 undead armies attack us. However, they're attacking our stack of tier 5 samurai, so it turned into an absolute bloodbath.
And it's, of course, the very fast and unbreakable samurai. Of course. Yeah, yep.
By the end, there was 5,000 corpses in this ditch alone. The good news is only 500...
Actually, when I think about it, when you're fighting undead, the more you kill, the happier the undead is. Because then they can raise the stronger armies, so... Whoopsie!
Of those were ours, but the undead seem to have a near limitless supply of soldiers, and...
Yeah, because it's like the never-ending circle of you kill more so they can get more, so you kill more so they can get more. Oh boy!
They're trying to wear us down. We can only win this if we fight them smarter.
You keep increasing their graveyard, yep.
In advantageous maps such as this one, an open field bisected by a river, leaving 2 bottlenecks for us to utilize. We rush to gain control of them with our samurai, as 6,000 zombies descend upon us like the plague. I'd like to tell you we fought bravely and had some kind of Japanese Thermopylae, but all I can actually tell you is my game crashed 3 times.
No!
You see...
No! Not the crashes! The undead masters of recycling, oh my goodness.
Our mod pack is like a Russian egg homunculus. It's a bastardization of genetic code that is born into this world, writhes around in agony for a few moments, and then dies painfully. And currently, we're getting close to the dying part, because with each passing turn, the game becomes massively less functional. So we need to finish this challenge before the mod deletes my operating system and hires a Bitcoin assassin to kill me. The issue we're facing right now is that Vlad seems to be turtling all of his arms.
Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 armies. Damn, bruh.
In a doom stack at Averheim, and we're definitely not ready to kill that. Hypothetically, it is difficult to defeat Prime Ronnie Coleman in martial combat, but if we were to economically cripple him until he could no longer afford to feed himself, then it would become a lot easier. And we're going to adopt that same approach.
Vlad, my man, did you leave any dead to rest? No. I can now only imagine a vampire walking around the battlefield putting bits of corpses in a wheel bin. Yes. Yes, that's what they are doing.
Approach against Vlad. Instead of confronting him at Averheim, we're going to split up and capture the rest of his territory. This should drain his economy and force him to sell off some of his armies. Then, when he's weak and vulnerable, we strike. It took about 15 turns to take all of Vlad's territory and fully encircle him at Averheim. Every so often, he would lash out and send a few armies to fight us.
Oh, that's good, because that separates the armies.
Is a well-oiled machine that turns dead people into chopped up dead people. Also, we just sold his capital...
Bring your corpses!
City to the dwarves for 200,000 gold, man.
That is a lot of gold, and where the heck did the dwarves get it from? Those aren't undead army, that's just a death metal concert.
We're closing in on 1 million, so we can do this all day. At this point, the Japanese noose is tightening around Vlad's neck, and just as I'm getting ready to pull, tragedy strikes. I try to end my turn on turn 206, and then the game clenches its fist, grabs at its chest, and collapses dead. That's a bit weird. Let's reload and try again. End turn 206, and crash. This shit ain't good. Every time we end turn 206, the game crashes without fail. But we're far too close to our goal to give up now. After a brief investigation, I realized every crash takes place when the game is processing the actions of the 7th faction, which happens to be our old friends, the Chinese. Which of course raises the question, what if China didn't exist? Maybe, just maybe, we wouldn't crash. So I downloaded a console command mod and got to work wiping 1.4 billion people off the face of the earth on a hunch. I'm not proud to admit.
Oh, that's oh boy. Oh boy. No, he is not cheating.
Mass genocide was the first solution I went to, but it fucking worked. After making the Chinese extinct, I gave their territory to Balthazar Gelt, and we passed on to turn 207 without a problem. Thank Christ.
Yay!
With the fabric of reality now patched up.
Eldritch Bird, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to my comfy space. Up enjoy your stay. Hi. Oh, hey, we reached 4,100 followers on Twitch. Let's go. Troubleshooting the Chinese population issue. Oh, no. My computer is running slowly and crashing. Have you tried deleting China? You guys laugh, but that was the solution in Empire Total War. Delete India to prevent crash. Removing billions to make the game run better is a honored tradition in many strategy games. Melting down the Chinese faction into a sealant of the fabric of reality. Listen, sometimes it's very important, right? You gotta do what you gotta do.
Using the bodies of 1 billion Chinese, we can finally finish Vlad and end the apocalypse. I link our southern and northern army groups and drunk drive them straight into Vlad's doom.
It's resource management. The resources have been managed. Turning the Chinese faction from 1s to 0s.
Doom stack. We get a massive 4-on-4 clash, which I could just auto-resolve. But where's the spectacle in that? We're fighting this one manually. Loading in with a pretty strong...
That's very, very... You have to guys understand how brave from Reggie it is to try to play a manual battle when his game is on the verge of crashing every single time he clicks a button. Oh boy! We respect you, Reggie. We respect.
Army, I get a bit cocky and charge straight across the field at our enemies. Predictably, this was a bad idea, and things get pretty messy pretty fast. Our flanks aren't secure, and the undead are starting to overwhelm us. But at the last moment, we receive a massive influx of reinforcements, which blitz across the field and begin massacring the undead. This is a highly contested battle.
Bold strategy, Connell. Let's see if it pays off. I love that meme.
And then we just won. Don't worry about how, just know that we definitely didn't crash for the 500th time. With that
yeah, that's what I thought that's gonna happen. That is what I thought. Tori is taking some chances clicking the pause button as much as she does. Just a little, but don't worry about it.
Battle over, Vlad's army scatter, and we take our time grouping up and beating the shit out of each of them individually. In fact,
just go hanky man to kidnap Reggie, he'd comply. Yeah, I'm just gonna write him an email. Hello Reggie, I am currently kidnapping you so we can play Warhammer 3. Also, I would like to be part of Gamer Subs. Thank you. Forced to play Warhammer 3 without mods. Oh my goodness.
I have so many commanders in this province with the purification trait that we've completely removed all of the vampiric corruption in like 2 turns. So Vlad's remaining armies are now suffering attrition from being undead, being homeless, and some of them also have the plague. Now, as much as I'd love to sit here and watch his final army decompose, I can't risk our mod breaking and forcing another genocide. So I attacked Vlad's last army, kill it and achieve absolution. After 200 turns and countless human sacrifices, the zombie apocalypse has been stopped, and Shingen Takeda is a hero. So what happens to all of our favorite characters now that the world has been saved? Well, Mr. Takeda retired back to Japan to continue his career in real estate, eventually causing the 2008 financial crisis and inventing the George Foreman grill to become a multi-millionaire. Marathi continued her world domination before eventually overdosing on Percocet in a Burger King washroom. The continent of South America continues its descent into chaos, with its average inhabitant being considered too dangerous for human contact. Tyrion and the High Elves renounce their titles and open the world's first gay auto body shop.
Buttholes. That's what my garage is all about.
I see. Okay, well, I accept that.
French are their #1 customers. And finally, 1.4 billion Chinese are still missing to this day.
And the news are still trying to find out what has happened with them.
The world isn't perfect, but thanks to us, it's got a chance.
I love that. I'm not spamming mailboxes. I put a fish in there instead. The mailbox is already a reusable can anyways. Oh my goodness. That's beautiful. That was a beautiful video. Thank you, Reggie. We always appreciate your creation. The Chinese went into a Bermuda Triangle? Basically, yes. Basically, that's what happened.